the paper. What up, YouTube? My name is Sharice. Welcome to Reese TV. Glad that you're here. Today, I'm going to do an Infinity War review, but it just doesn't seem right without a special person. Whoa, there you are! It's Jeff the Christian Gamer!
Yo.
So, today we're going to talk about Infinity War. And first, we're going to talk about our feelings. Because if you know Jeff the Christian Gamer, he likes to give spoilers. So we're not going to give spoilers on this round.
No promises.
So, how was Infinity War? In my opinion, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. On a scale from 1 to 10, I would give it like a 3. I would still... I would watch Ant-Man over watching this. I'm glad that I went to watch it. It cured my curiosity from what was going on my timeline. People were commenting, oh, the feels. And I literally just walked away really pissed. And it wasn't because people died and, oh, spoiler alert, people die. It wasn't really much of a spoiler alert to me because I read up on Infinity War before watching Infinity War. So if you think that's a spoiler, I am so sorry for you.
She said I did spoilers.
But what bothered me was that it had no plot. Marvel, up until now, has done a great job with having every movie be a movie within itself, like only flashing back to things that are relevant to the movie that you're watching. And this just wasn't the case for this movie. You actually had to watch the movies prior to understand what was going on. I literally sat next to a person who didn't watch the movies prior, and she was surprised by the characters that were there.
Yeah, she was kind of annoying.
She was very much annoying. And that's the thing, like, Marvel always catered to the people who never read a comic or never watched what came beforehand.
With the occasional nod to a movie previous. They did do a little nod.
Yeah, like a flashback to, so you got a full picture, even if this is the first time that you saw the movie. And this was the first time that they just did a screw you to everybody who didn't watch the movies prior or didn't read the comics. What did you think about the Infinity War?
Interestingly enough, if I were to give Infinity War a 1 to 10 score, I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7.
Wow.
Which, yeah, not to say I wasn't pissed off about the movie, but I was pissed off about it for completely different reasons.
Really?
My lovely wife here. She basically talked about a little while ago that there was no character development and that there was no storyline to the movie, etc.
I didn't say character development, but I did say plot. There was no plot.
There was no plot. I felt that
it was like your normal action film. Just,
yeah.
Just bang, 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 no plot. Woo.
Or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand that logic, but...
Or another type of film that we're not going to talk about because it's family friendly.
No. But yeah, the overall premise was a good one, and I felt that it had just enough story to leave you in the movie, but that didn't bother me as much. What more often than not bothered me was I was literally from start to finish able to call every single thing that happened in the movie 10 to 15 minutes before it happened. In one extreme case, I called one thing 7 minutes into the movie. Hey, I already know how this thing's gonna go. And so that constant, I know what's going to happen, is probably my least favorite thing about any movie I've ever seen in my life. if the movie can keep me engaged to the point where I am kind of second guessing if there's, a few possibilities as to what I feel can happen, and, they play out on one that I didn't expect, that to me is a great movie. Infinity War did trip me up 2 times total in the movie.
Right.
And a couple of things that were, a little bit skewed. And that aspect was the reason why I ended up giving it a 6 or 7 out of 10. Because those things, had I been able to call them, I would have been right in your boat. It would have been a 3 for me. But yeah, just my ability to say, okay, this is going to happen. Oh, yep, that happened. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, yep, that happened. That whole experience was just, it was soul crushing for me, because I went into Infinity War expecting them, talking about Disney and Marvel, to up the ante to a place where I hadn't seen before when it comes to stuff that you couldn't call. Now, mind you, in the Marvel universe, they have a lot of tropey things that happen, and some of them are done in they have a little spin on it. It's done a little bit different way. But yeah, Infinity War was that time where they said, you know what? Not only are we going to be tropey, we are going to follow to the letter the tropiest of tropes throughout the entire movie, and we're not going to change anything. And it was like a cookie cutter action movie, just like she was saying, a cookie cutter action movie. And it bothered the living snot out of me. Now, whether or not I felt that the movie was good or bad as far as action scenes and stuff like that go, action was great. Explosions were great. The Hulk smash didn't, that was a little, it happened. The stuff was there for me, and they did it in a way that was too tropey. And that's the only reason why I gave it a 6 or 7. If they had done their usual Marvel thing and knock my socks off with respect to what I expected to happen, and kind of switch it up in that little subtle Marvel way, I'd have been like easily 9, easily. But yeah, they missed the mark.
So now we're going to talk about the people that we thought were going to kick the bucket before we watched the movie, because as we said before, or as I said before, I knew that people were going to die.
Right.
So before we start, I'm going to challenge you. Like this video in 5 seconds. All right, you with me? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you like the video? Did you feel the same way that we did? Did you watch the movie? Go ahead and leave us a like. All right, so let's talk about the people that we thought were going to bite the dust before watching the movie. Okay, so should I start, or you want to start?
Man, I only had one that I was certain they were going to die this entire, up until leading into the experience, I only had one person that I knew for a fact was going to die.
Oh, okay.
And that was T'Challa.
Oh, yeah. T'Challa was one of mine.
Yeah.
So why was T'Challa one of yours?
He's a black man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was one of my reasons.
Yeah. Basically, Marvel had done a great job of staying away from that trope of the black guy dies first, or the black guy dies during the movie, etc. And they did everything in their power to stay away from that trope. Going into the movie, I was like, you know what? Because I know they've been staying away from this trope, he's probably my pick for first death, because they can't not. That was my thought process. Okay. So because they had stayed away from it, I was positive he was going to before going in.
I can see that. Like I said, that was my thought, because he's black. Unfortunately, we're going to kick the bucket.
Jaws.
But it was because
Anaconda. Sorry. That was the last one.
Because Shuri in the comics had put on or became Black Panther for a short period of time. Yep. And since Shuri was such a big hit with Black Panther the movie, it only made sense that they would set her up to put on the Black Panther, or to become Black Panther, at least for a short time. And I mean, because the thing is, what was working for T'Challa was that there's already talks of more movies. Right. But because Shuri has worn the Black Panther, or has been Black Panther in the comics, it was possibility that it will be Shuri for maybe a movie and a half.
Yeah,
being Black Panther.
Right.
So yes, he was
he
was one of my picks too.
That was my number one. I was like, I felt like he was definitely going.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wakanda Forever. Another one of my picks was Tony Stark, Iron Man. My reasons is that though Robert Downey Jr., been playing a great Iron Man, like it's hard to see or know who came first, Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. because he has that personality even away from the movies.
Right.
However, he's getting old.
This is true. And
I really don't believe that Marvel / Disney is going to let him play Iron Man forever. It's just not.
Facts.
I mean, unless he goes into Bruce Wayne territory where he has like a protege, but that's too early. Yeah. So that was one of the reasons why I thought that he was going to kick the bucket. Mm-hmm. Another reason why is because they've been painting him as the new Uncle Ben. Mm. He has been that mentor for Peter Parker, and I believe that instead of Marvel giving us the normal Ben death storyline,
did they give us Iron Man?
That they were going to give us Iron Man, and it was going to be this emotional scene of Peter Parker and Tony Stark, or seeing Tony Stark die, and it was just mainly because of Peter Parker not staying where he was supposed to, because he's a teenager, right? So that was one of my picks,
Yeah. Ironically, I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No. That's pretty much it. When it comes to Iron Man / Tony Stark.
Ironically, with Tony Stark, because they had been playing him up to die so hard, I actually wasn't expecting him to go. I was expecting him to be like, how they have those movies where they have this tough battle and then the last survivor stands there lamenting his fate at being the only one that survived. Yeah, because he already had that sort of a moment when, basically
Ultron.
Yeah, Ultron and
because that was his fault.
Yeah.
In the comics, actually, it was Ant-Man's fault.
Yeah, but see, when he had that moment, I was like, oh, this is the perfect setup to just crush him as a person, because he's had this experience before. He already has the minor impression that everybody around him is going to die, so that's why I figured, they're probably going to keep him alive just to bring that arc full circle, and that's what I was expecting to happen there. That's the only reason why he wasn't on my list.
Okay, so, all right, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that. Another person that I thought was going to kick the bucket was Captain America / Steve Rogers. My thought process was mainly because Chris Evans didn't want to play this character anymore.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it.
That makes sense.
That's my only thought process as to why they would kill him off. Like, it's like but then again, thought process, like, they didn't kill off Han Solo when Harrison Ford wanted to die.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
If they did keep him alive, then that would make sense. But
yeah, I can see why.
I would think that it should have been Steve Rogers.
I can see why that would be a pick.
He was the first Avenger too.
Yeah, he was. So it makes sense. So, he's bowing out to let everybody else kind of take over the mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it terrible of me that I was kind of hoping that Cap would die? Because, I have a serious issue with characters that feel too perfect or have an emotional quandary that doesn't feel like it should be there. Like Bucky's character intertwining with Captain America and how the bromance and how that played out.
Bromance goes.
Like the whole way through that, I was just like, okay, can we not? And they did it anyway. And so when Civil War rolled around and I'm sorry, not Civil War. Wow. When that movie rolled around, Infinity War rolled around, I was like, yeah, no, that was terrible. When Infinity War rolled around, I was hoping, in my heart of hearts, that Captain America would kick the bucket. I don't like him. I just don't. I can't even lie. I don't like him that much. And so I was kind of hoping going into it that he would kick it. So
okay.
Yeah.
So that would have been one of your picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had 2 picks.
Technically speaking,
you had Captain America and you had T'Challa.
See, no, here's the thing though. I was hoping, and because usually my luck is that they live because I want them to go. He wasn't on my list. Like as soon as I said, maybe Captain would go, instantly my head said, nope, he's not. He's gonna live because of that. So that's why he wasn't on my list.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that. Actually, one of my picks before I rationalized it out was Spider-Man, because it's like, okay, he has to mess up, and this is like one of those big wars. He has to mess up.
Right.
However, Spider-Man has so many movies coming out too, so
it doesn't make sense to kill him.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I see that. I see that.
So. Moving on, Star-Lord. Now, Star-Lord was my pick for a reason outside of the actual MCU.
Right.
It was just actually because there are just way too many Chris actors.
That's too many Chris's.
There's just too many Chris's. I mean, you have Chris Hemsworth. You have Chris Pratt, which is Star-Lord, and you have Chris Evans.
Right.
And he has to go.
Too many Chris's.
So at the end of mine, there should have just been one. There can only be one.
There can only be one. But yeah, no, I see that because I could see the director on the set like, okay, Chris, come here. And
then all 3 of them
they all look at him, and it's like, which one? It's like, okay, somebody has to die. Draw straws, something. One of y'all's gonna go. I see that. That's hilarious.
Okay, and so Vision and Doctor Strange were my picks as well for the same reasons. They both have Infinity Stones.
Yeah. Pretty much. And the previews kind of set him as soon as you saw the preview for Vision.
Vision up.
When he put the staff to Vision's head, I was like, he's probably toast. That was going into the movie. I was like, he probably toast.
He gone, children. He gone. And my last pick was Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because nobody cares.
Nobody likes that dude.
Nobody cares about him.
I'm sorry.
I mean, the thing is, and yes, I am wearing his shirt. But that was the shirt that came with my loot box, so I wore it. It's not even a loot box. It's some other company. But yeah. But anyway, his arc was very much like Iron Man's, and it was kind of hard to tell. I mean, I know Iron Man. I do. Right. Yeah, duh. I mean, Iron Man is magnificent. But he was always like this lesser Iron Man. And it was like, go away. I wish that you just didn't exist. And
he's your
Captain
America.
He is my Captain America. He just doesn't matter at all. I'm sorry. If you like him, give us a thumbs up! Yeah! Well, let's talk about spoilers.